Hey there, it's therapy and relaxation. Today, we're continue to talk about the impact of trauma on communication styles. Let's go! Trauma is an experience that can shape the deepest layers of our behavior, beliefs, and patterns of interaction. For many people, the echoes of traumatic experiences reverberate long after the initial event, subtly shaping the ways they interact with the world and with loved ones. One of the most significant, yet often overlooked, effects of trauma is its influence on communication styles. Often, individuals who have experienced trauma find that the aftermath shapes how they express themselves, listen to others, and form connections within their personal and professional relationships. At its core, communication is more than just the transmission of information. It is an intricate dance of emotions, word choices, body language, and tone. When someone has experienced trauma, whether a single overwhelming event or prolonged periods of harmful exposure, their ability to engage in this dance can change in fundamental ways. This is not due to any inherent flaw, but rather the impact of adaptive behaviors, learned as a means of survival in the face of overwhelming situations. Unresolved trauma can manifest through a variety of communication patterns. Some individuals may find themselves growing withdrawn, struggling to voice their needs or feelings. They may become hyper-attuned to potential threats or criticism, reading hostility in neutral statements, or perceiving rejection where none was intended. Others develop assertive or even aggressive communication styles, where anger or defensiveness serve as protective shields. The common thread lies in the underlying nervous system response, a system primed for survival, often at the expense of authentic connection. Thanks for sticking around. Don't forget to subscribe us and check out therapyandrelaxation.com for more. See you tomorrow. One prominent way trauma influences communication is through hypervigilance. The nervous system, having learned to expect danger, is constantly on high alert. In conversation, this can appear as rapid speech, interruptions, or an inability to fully listen to others, because the mind is preoccupied with scanning for subtle cues of threat or dismissal. In group environments, traumatized individuals may find it hard to contribute, fearing judgment or misunderstanding. Even minor misunderstandings can be felt as major betrayals, leading to disproportionate emotional responses. Conversely, some trauma survivors adopt communication styles characterized by passivity or appeasement. This is especially common in individuals who have experienced prolonged exposure to power imbalances or ongoing emotional harm, such as in childhood or abusive relationships. The adaptive strategy, often developed early on, is to remain as unobtrusive as possible. Individuals may find it nearly impossible to express disagreement or assert needs, routinely defaulting to people-pleasing, even when it comes at personal cost. The fear of conflict, abandonment, or negative outcomes can be so overwhelming that silence or compliance feels like the safest choice. Trauma can also lead to dissociation, not just in thoughts or memories, but in communication itself. Someone who has survived trauma may, at moments of stress, check out emotionally. During conversations, they might go quiet, lose track of the discussion, or respond in a flat, detached manner. To the uninitiated, this can be mistaken for aloofness or indifference, but in reality, it is a powerful, automatic coping mechanism when emotional overwhelm threatens to take hold. Another result is difficulty with emotional literacy and expression. For some, trauma interrupts the development of the language needed to name and understand feelings. Expressing vulnerability may feel terrifying, while sitting with the discomfort of another's emotions can invoke a sense of helplessness or shame. Communication may become transactional rather than relational, focused on avoiding mistakes rather than building understanding. Consider, for example, an adult who grew up in a household where emotional outbursts were met with ridicule or where needs were ignored. As an adult, this person might find it deeply uncomfortable to share feelings, fearing that any sign of vulnerability will be used against them. Alternatively, they might overcompensate by asserting control in every discussion, steering conversations away from subjects that touch on their pain. Each choice is rooted in the same core, past experiences informing present-day defenses. This impact is not limited to one-on-one settings. In professional contexts, trauma can shape communication in subtle ways. Survivors may struggle to advocate for themselves, ask for help, or accept feedback. Miscommunications are more likely, particularly if trigger words or situations cause old wounds to resurface. Colleagues and friends may misinterpret anxiety or guardedness as disinterest or non-compliance, deepening the potential for exclusion or misunderstanding. Relationships are particularly affected. Unresolved trauma can lead to cycles of conflict or withdrawal, impairing a person's capacity for trust, intimacy, and honest communication. Partners may become entangled in push-pull dynamics, where periods of closeness are followed by emotional distance. Arguments may escalate quickly or, conversely, remain unspoken, creating a simmering tension below the surface. The result is a form of isolation, even within relationships ostensibly built on love and support. Yet understanding these patterns is not about assigning blame. Rather, it is a pathway to self-awareness and growth. By recognizing the ways that trauma shapes communication, individuals can begin to challenge unhelpful patterns and cultivate healthier, more authentic dialogues. One of the first steps is noticing repeating cycles. Do certain topics always feel off-limits? Is it difficult to say no or to ask for help? Are compliments or feedback met with suspicion or discomfort? These questions can illuminate where past experiences may be influencing present interactions. Empathy plays a crucial role as well. Recognizing that communication difficulties are often born of adaptive strategies, learned for survival, not control, can shift the lens of judgment. Partners, friends, and coworkers who understand the roots of these patterns are less likely to personalize them as rejection or hostility. Instead, they can offer patience, seek clarity, and create space for dialogue. Listening with genuine curiosity, affirming feelings even when they are hard to hear, and avoiding punitive responses can help cultivate a sense of safety and trust. For those navigating the aftermath of trauma, intentional communication strategies can be invaluable. Mindful breathing, pausing before responding, and grounding exercises can reduce nervous system arousal in difficult conversations. Therapeutic practices, such as journaling or role-playing, can help individuals explore and express feelings in a safer context before bringing them into real-world interactions. Learning to identify triggers, set boundaries, and use I statements can foster greater self-advocacy and clarity, building confidence over time. Reaching out for professional support can also be transformative. Trauma-informed therapists are trained to recognize the impact of past harm on present communication, offering guidance, validation, and tools for change. Group therapies and support networks provide a space to practice new skills and receive feedback from others who share similar experiences, reducing the sense of isolation and fostering a sense of belonging. Over time, old patterns can shift. Individuals who once found it impossible to speak their truth may discover their voice, learning to express feelings and needs without fear. Relationships can grow more resilient as both partners learn to recognize and honor each other's histories and vulnerabilities. In workplace settings, trauma-informed practices and policies can foster a culture where every member feels heard, respected, and safe. It is important to remember that change is gradual and setbacks are natural. Healing from trauma is not about erasing the past, but learning to relate to it differently, to recognize its influence, while consciously choosing new ways to interact. Each effort at genuine communication, no matter how small, becomes a step toward greater understanding and connection. Ultimately, understanding how trauma shapes communication is a vital key to compassion, for ourselves and for others. By naming and exploring these patterns, we open doorways to empathy, resilience, and deeper human connection. We begin to see that behind every defensive remark, every moment of silence, or every overreaction, there lives a story, often one of courage in the face of adversity, and a longing to be truly seen and heard. This awareness enriches our relationships and our communities. It reminds us that healthy communication is not about perfection. It is about presence, intention, and the willingness to grow. Through patience, education, and support, Individuals and families can break free from the shadow of trauma, forging new paths toward fulfillment, understanding, and healing. Understanding and compassion, after all, are the foundation upon which all meaningful connection is built, and in honoring the impact of trauma, we make space for everyone's voice to emerge, clear and strong. Thanks for sticking around. Don't forget to subscribe us and check out therapyandrelaxation.com for more. See you tomorrow.